Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, what more do you say? Coming up. Yeah. Come up. Yeah. Come up now. Come on. Stop me. Come on. You coming up.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the House of Peach. We are here for our this week's series. Are y'all here? Are y'all coming in? Hi, Morgan. We are live.
How are you?
I'm good. I was just welcoming everyone that just come on. Y'all, we have made it to another Tuesday, another amazing topic, another amazing guest that's going to be on with us this evening. We hope that you are doing well and have been doing well since last Tuesday. We have done quite a bit. It's been a lot going on. And we are happy to be on with you this evening. If you are on with us, please drop something in the chat to say hello, to let us know that you're here. Also, share this out. Share this broadcast out with everyone you know, both male and female, and let them know that we are on. The House of Peaches on. Morgan and April are on. We are here to do this. What's been going on, Morgan?
Nothing much. Babies flying left and right. Like, look, we didn't even make it to the birth center type of babies. Like, yeah.
Wow. It's time, and I'm coming out now.
That part. So, yeah, it's been quite eventful since I've seen you last.
Oh my goodness. But eventful is good. You get to help bring new little people into the world. That's
Absolutely. So, yes, that was good.
Oh, yeah.
My brother just had a birthday, so that was a good thing.
Happy belated birthday, brother. So how was his birthday? Did he enjoy it?
He did. He was like, it was kind of low key, which is good, but he's waiting for us to celebrate. So
I'm
excited about that. Yes. And it's a shout out real quick to G. Happy birthday to her as well, coming up on Thursday.
All right. Birthdays galore. I want this same kind of energy and then some when my birthday rolls around in January.
Oh yeah, you have no idea.
I have so much going on, so it's like, wow, there's a lot going on in my life, but it's great. I'm not complaining. I'm actually excited about it, and you get to be a part. I'm so happy about that. This is going to be a lot of fun. The turn-up is going to be real during that time. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Like I said, my calendar, I'm already making whatever kind of necessary measures.
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
I can't miss this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So today I went and did a shift working in the operating room. I put that for those that follow me and are friends with me or whatever on Facebook and Instagram. You got to see my picture. So I got a chance to do some hand surgery today, some very interesting cases, but it was good being in the OR again. Like I couldn't do it full time. I could not because I'm often reminded, April, you're not in your 20s anymore. So all that stuff that that you used to do back in the day, those 8, 10, 12-hour days, and then being on call and getting up in the middle of the night, going in for surgery. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm so beyond that.
Right, I hear you.
In there every now and then doing that. I love the teaching aspect of it. So that's what I did today. And I am like, I came in after I got Ariel, was like, I need a nap. I need to take a nap. So I took a nap.
Good for you.
Because I'm really bad about taking naps. You know that I feel so guilty. But a lot of our guests that we've had on reiterate to us about care and listening to your body and resting when you need to. And I'm trying to get myself in that mindset like, oh my God, I could be making a phone call. Oh my God, I could be doing this. I could be doing that. And no, your body's saying, no, you need to rest. You need to do that. Because I remember when I was living in Ohio, the hospital where I work was right down the street from my apartment, and the techs that were there, they hated taking calls. So I'm like, shoot, that's time and a half. I can take call. I'm right down the street. Well, I was taking so much call and not listening to my body that it completely shut down. I spent a week and a half in quarantine in my place. Thankfully, I had a living babysitter at the time who had the kids and took care of the kids. I had to be in my room because I didn't know what I had. It was that bad. It was so bad that I almost lost my job. All because I'm like taking call 2 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. They're calling and I'm running and going and working and working. I would do 16-hour days. 12. It was crazy. I couldn't do that now. My body was like, no, not happening. Yeah. So listening to my body, I'm learning that. I'm learning that. So yeah. Yeah, I know, right? You're like, no. Hello, Nicole. I see you. Hey, Charlotte, I see you. So yeah, quite interesting. So, however, this evening we have another amazing guest coming on. Oh, before we get into that, y'all know the last Tuesday every single month we have our He Said She Said panel. This is not just for females. This is for everyone, male and female.
Yes,
So
yes,
we
yes.
have a topic, and then anyone that's interested in joining us, whether it's for a little bit, just for you to give your 2 cents and have a little discussion and then jump off, or stay on the entire time, it's your choice. But we would like to know who's interested in joining us. This is not, there's no male bashing, there's no female bashing, there's no bashing of any sort. This is everyone's
Exactly.
opinion, and we want to listen. We want to listen to their opinion. We want to get your input. So at the end of every month, that's Morgan. Morgan came with that. And Morgan, I say this all the time, and I'm going to say it again. That was like one of the best ideas ever to do a He Said, She Said series. Like, that is good.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
one of my cousins is waiting. Like, when can I
Okay.
get on again? When can I get on again? So
Well, look, we will see you then on, I think it's the 31st
the 31st.
of
Yeah.
this month. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah. Hey, Jackie, I see you on here on my Facebook page. It's not
Hey,
like
Jackie.
coming over. So tonight we have another amazing guest. So
Yes, yes, yes.
tell us about your
Um,
guest.
she just happens to be my doula sister.
Mm,
But yes, her name is Amber. And I had the pleasure of meeting Amber a little bit over a year ago. And she is a student midwife.
mm,
Yes. So this takes, doulaship, if that's a word, to a whole new level because now we're talking about actual midwifery.
yeah,
I'll let her talk about midwifery, what it's like to be in midwifery school, but she also has her own holistic practice where she offers a lot of different things. So besides all of that, she is an amazing wife and mother and just an all around solid person. And so, yeah, I wanted to be able to bring her on so that she could be able to, share a bit about
mhm,
herself. She's got a lot to share in general, but she's got something really good when it comes to supporting purpose, but then also making sure that you take care of yourself so that, you can do that.
Why? So that's perfect with me taking
Yeah,
that list lines right up. And I don't worry, y'all. This wasn't scripted. I didn't know that this is bullshit. I didn't know any of this. I was just talking about me and what was going on with me. Like, wow. Um,
exactly. So yeah, Amber's like the most perfect person because she reminds us all to constantly take care of ourselves, but then she's also open to being able to hold space
mm,
for us, and that is something that's big, amongst just women in general,
yeah,
but also professionals being able to have a space to be able to vent, talk about some things, be uplifted, inspired, or just reset sometimes, or just honestly just heard. Um,
right.
So
Right.
I'm
I'm
excited.
interested about this midwifery school because
Yes.
I've heard about it, but knowing the requirements and all of that, I'm definitely ready to hear about that.
I
So,
know. She recruited me. I'm trying to get little, yeah, I'm just trying to get, this little one really situated, and
yeah.
then it's on and popping. So
Oh, wow. So my last, let's see, not Ariel, but my second child, my daughter Zuri and my son Micah were both delivered by midwives, and I absolutely love them. Shout out to what is her name? Oh my God, it's been 22 years ago, but I remember she had really curly, big red hair, and she was like high energy. And I promise you that lady put some of her spirit into Zuri because when Zuri was little, she was like ping, ping. She was everywhere. And then Micah, his midwife, she was very laid back, very precise. And Micah's the same way. I'm like, y'all like transferring spirits into my
you
baby.
do, yes, the energy. I was like, as Amber will tell you, I was like, birth work is a lot about energy as well. And a lot of that
Mhm.
is transferred, which is why I appreciate what she provides, if for
Mhm.
no other reason. Like the other day, actually, I called her and I was kind of frustrated about a lot of different things that was going on, but I had to go to a birth. And so being able to unload that allowed me to be able to change the atmosphere and what I was bringing, because you don't want to bring chaos and stress into a birthing situation where stress
Right.
is the last thing that needs to be in that room. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So you have to too be able to check yourself before
Mhm.
entering the room, because there's a lot of other stuff that's going on completely out of your control.
Right, right. And I definitely want to talk to her about that and like tying it into personal lives, period. Not only with that part of life, but just life in general. Because we one thing I remember doing and I've always done working in surgery is whatever happens in there, however stressful it is, however mad I am at the surgeons because of them being just them, when I went into the locker room to change clothes to go home, that stayed there, and I never took that home because my kids were little at the time. I moved to Ohio, and my son was 5 months, and Zuri was 4, and Kayla was 6. So they're small. They needed all of me, and me not having that energy to be able to take care of them and realizing, okay, I can't bring this home because that's going to affect them. I'm glad I was able to do that. So that's important. We don't want babies coming being born and stressed out and crying, and then you can't figure out what's wrong with them. Yeah, you don't need that. But we're gonna bring our guest in, Amber, in so we can get this party
Yes.
started. Is she here?
Yes,
Hi,
was.
how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? I was
Doing
loving
fantastic.
the vibe.
I've had a nap, so I'm good right now. If I didn't have that nap, man, it would have been pulling, pulling. But I had a nap, so I'm feeling revived and
Yeah,
rejuvenated. We are so happy to have you on here. Thank you so much for deciding and agreeing to be on and being a guest on the show today. We have so much to talk about. Like, I just want to hear it all. Like, I'm just going to sit back. You just tell it all. Say everything. Hey, Catherine, I see you in the comments there.
Exactly. And hey, Chantel, I know a couple of our doula sisters are on as well. So hey y'all, hey y'all.
Hey, everybody.
So
So, why
yeah,
don't you start? Just tell us a little bit about you, and then we'll get into all of the specifics, all the meat and potatoes of you.
absolutely. I'm Amber Twine. I'm a student midwife, a community doula, childbirth educator, a mom, and a new mentor. So, yeah, doing a lot of different things in the birth work space right now.
Okay. How did you get into doing that?
So, I started as a result of my healing journey. And I love that the topic today is supporting purpose because it was my destiny to be in this space. And God told me that at the beginning of my healing. So I
Oh,
found birth work and I've been addicted ever since, as much as I
wow.
tried to fight it. So,
Huh? Oh, how we've all tried to fight our purpose. We could just preach a whole sermon off that.
yeah.
absolutely.
But then when you find your purpose and it flows so smoothly because you just get into it and you realize, wow, I really feel good. Like this gives me joy. This makes me feel accomplished. So, okay, God, you were right from the
Yeah,
beginning. I'm sorry that I was fighting against you, but here we
absolutely.
are. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
so you are in midwifery school. I love that word, that term, midwifery. It just sounds so sophisticated. So
Yeah.
how's that been?
So it's very interesting. I started midwifery school while I was pregnant with my son.
Mm.
And you sometimes internalize a lot of things because you're just gaining so much knowledge in the space. Um, but yes, I'm taking it slow, doing my thing, but I'm on the CPM pathway. So that's the goal of being out of hospital. Mhm.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, I'm going to be very transparent. I know nothing. I know about midwives because my two of my children were delivered by midwives. But what are like the requirements? What do you need in order to even be considered for admittance into the program?
So again, modern day midwifery is definitely different than the history of midwifery, especially in our community and with our people. But now, it's a lot more licensure, especially in the state of Delaware. So we have requirements, certain classes we have to take, a length of time. There's also a whole preceptor aspect of it. So studying under trained and professional midwives, taking a certain amount of births and showing up in those ways clinically.
So you, when you are there with those births, the physician, the actual OB, has to be present while you are doing that. And then once you graduate and get your licensure, then you're able to do the delivery on your own. Is that how that works?
So not for CPMs. We
Mm,
train under out of hospital birth midwives as well. So in home birth settings, sometimes birth centers, but
okay.
here primarily home births.
What does CPM stand for? I'm.
It's certified professional midwife.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And you've got two kinds of midwives. Tell her the two kinds of midwives.
So there's CPM, certified professional midwives, and then CNMs, which is certified nurse midwives. They're
Okay.
in the hospital. They study sometimes under OB, but mostly under other midwives.
So they're already a nurse and they decide to go on to midwifery school in
Yes,
order to obtain that. Okay. All
right.
right. Now I
And
see.
those are ones that typically are in the hospital setting, whereas um, CMPs are more home birth and birth center
Yes,
births.
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that the certified nurse one can't go into the birthing centers, but it's not the opposite. You can't, if you don't have the training for the hospital setting, then you can't go into there. You just have to stay strictly with the birthing centers. Is that pretty much right?
So typically, yes. Different states have different laws, especially when it comes to out of hospital midwifery. But
Hmm.
in my state, yes. So I would not be able to practice in a hospital, but I could practice at a birth center or at home for home
Okay.
births.
Hmm.
Yes.
Wow.
I know it's super cool, right?
It is. And I'm like, I just want to stay there, but I also want to talk about all the other stuff, but I'm really
I'm like,
intrigued.
I'm not an expert on midwifery,
How
but yeah.
long is the program?
It depends. I'm taking the slow route because I have two little ones, but it can be as fast as 4 years.
Oh wow, that's fast. I'm like, good Lord. Okay, but I guess for all the what you're doing, you need to have as much training as possible. And I get it because that's serious. I've seen a lot of births, so I know how that can be. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And it doesn't really it doesn't matter like how many you go to. Each one of them is still different and
Mhm.
you're still learning. And like I mean, I've had midwives where I'm in the room and I've taught them something where I'm over here asking them questions about certain things where they're like, "Oh, wait, let me go get the answer next time I see you. I'll have it for you." You
Yeah.
know, so there's always learning in that space,
Hmm.
which is what is like super exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. like today, I was in surgery today, and the surgeon asked for some instrumentation that I had never heard of nor seen. And I was like, what? I'm like, I don't know what that is. So he showed it to me. I'm like, oh, is that what it is? Okay, I'll remember that for the next time. But like, you're every day, and I've been doing this a long time, and you still every day learn something new.
Wow.
So, oh wow. So how's your support system for now that you're in school? What is everyone saying about it? That they always know that you would end up doing something like this, or
So I think it's a natural next step for me,
mm,
especially after being a doula for a little while, being in the space and really feeling called to help with the representation, especially in our state.
mhm,
And then the support is everything.
mhm.
Like Mo was saying, like from the doula sisters support to my family, my partner, even my kids, it's a team effort, definitely.
Right,
Yeah, she
right.
has a little doula on her hands.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So talk about here, I want to get into the about your purpose and talk about what if you had any struggles when hearing God tell you what you were meant to do or destined to do.
Yeah.
How did you come about to come in agreement? Did you have any opposition? Did you within yourself or other people saying no, that's not what you need to do? How did you get that to where you finally got into this place to see, yes, this is where I need to be?
So it's so interesting how things kind of just make a way and God will direct your steps and you may not see where you're headed. But when you look back, it's like, oh, that made perfect sense for where I ended up.
Mm-hmm.
So my journey started probably like over 10 years ago. And I went through a very traumatic birth experience, like many doulas have, that brought them here initially. And I felt like it just wasn't right. And I was in an abusive relationship at that time. I had an infant loss. I had experienced a lot of things, obstetrical violence, a lot of things from that time. And as I went through my healing process, I stumbled upon this term of doula that I never heard and never seen. I was like, do Black people have doulas? Like, what is this doula thing? And ended up starting to research like reproductive health, womb healing, did training to be a reproductive health practitioner originally, and then ended up taking my first doula client. And when I saw that birth and I saw that mother, I was like, okay, I see what we're doing here. Um, and then from there, I've just gradually gotten to midwifery and all the other things that come with this space. Yeah.
I love this. Sorry. I could talk about it all day. So I'll let you ask your questions on this end, and I'll catch her on the other end.
I'd find I love this that you hear, and that's one thing that we as a people definitely need to do is be where we can hear God, and not only hear and feel where our path is just naturally taking us. And
Right.
some people want to go against that grain and go against that when you are constantly being pushed and led that way, and you're just like, no, no, I don't want to do that, I don't want to do that, and then you still end up in that area or in that environment, and then
Yes.
finally come to the conclusion, you know what, let me just stop running, let me just go on and explore this and see. And then you find what may be difficult for others in that area, what they may go through, you won't go through that. It
Right.
will just be like you've been in it all along, and people, well, how long have you been in it? Oh, just a year. You operate and move like you've been doing it forever. So I'm glad that you recognize what you were hearing, and it's settled enough for you to get to the point to where you are. So that is, y'all hear that? You got to stay in your purpose. Hear when you hear it, when you feel it, when you're drawn to it. And that's what I teach people when they're trying to figure out where they're going. What am I going to do? you have to, those things that draw you, excite you, motivate you, intrigue you to the point to where you are constantly wanting to learn more and more about it, and you're
Yes.
in it and you're doing it and you're like, this is so cool, this is great. And before you know it, you are all the way in and
Yes.
people are being helped. So it's not only for us, it's for those birthing people that you are going to help.
Yes.
And so
Absolutely.
that's
I
important.
feel like, Amber, can you talk to what is, I guess, the drive behind pushing? Because it's not easy to do any kind of school while having two little ones, let alone midwifery school, which does include you having to attend births. And we know what it's like when it comes to children and having to attend births. People go into labor at all hours of the day and or night, and
Right.
that means having to get up and leave the house at 2 o'clock in the morning, and maybe not getting home until 2 o'clock in the afternoon that next day. What does that mean for your kids? What does that mean for schooling? What does that mean for your household, and how do you handle that?
Right. And I breastfeed one of my kids still, and it's that whole like mom guilt. I'm leaving you. I don't know what time I'll be back, if I'll be here when you wake up. So yeah, it is challenging, and the school aspect is a whole nother time commitment. So I got to do homework, and then you're looking at their little faces like, give me attention, like you just came back from a birth. So I think when you know that you're where you're supposed to be, and you know that there's a bigger why to why you're doing everything, it kind of balances out the mom guilt, right?
Mhm.
And there'll be times where I'm like, oh, they're going to be crying, they're not going to be okay. But I feel like I need to go support this person because that could very well be life or death. And then you come home and your support's like, oh, they were great. They had a great day. It's like, oh, thank you, Jesus, because
Literally.
the whole thing. Um, it's hard, but it feels fulfilling. And those rides home, and I'm on my way back to my kids, and I know that my client was great, and I know that my kids are full, safe, and happy, then it's like, okay, thank you, Jesus. Just keep on giving me all you got, because I need it. Um, that's really all I can say about that. It's divine.
How do you balance out that energy knowing that you're leaving your children and they want your attention, they want your time, and you need to, like you say, you may have your client is life or death. How do you balance that and get your energy where it needs to be so that you can be effective there and not hinder anything or make it worse where you're going
Yeah.
while you're in transit? Because I know that as a mom, that's a lot. We love our children and we don't
Yes.
want them to be upset or sad or missing us or any of that. And I've had the same thing with my kids too, so I get it. But how do you what is there are there any things that you do personally that would help to center you and get that energy level where it needs to be for where you're going and what you're doing?
Absolutely. I have a pre-birth and post-birth ritual. I do it
Mhm.
every time. So before births, I typically, if they call me when they're supposed to, I will take a shower and I just say a prayer in the shower, get my cleansing, grounded energy together,
Mhm.
um, get my whole stuff bag together. And when I get in the car, I have my birth playlist to really just set the
Mhm.
mood. I pray for the hands of the doctors, midwives, whoever's involved, the mother, the father, the baby. Just ask that God divinely intervene and allow me to be the support that they need for that entire experience.
Mhm.
And then on my way home, after a successful interaction, I get in my car. I thank God, get something to eat, probably stop with a little cheat day, cheat fast food or whatever, and shower and just love on my kids for the next
Mhm.
24 hours after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all hear it. It is very important to have a routine, have something that gets you moving and gets you going. Yeah, I did that. And so that's just giving me confirmation that what I do works because I went in this morning, and I got there at 6 and then found out surgeries were delayed until 8. And so that gave me an opportunity. So I'm the operating room that I was in, like I'm walking around in that room and then I'm commanding that room and I'm praying in that room. Like, you're going to come, everybody's spirit is going to be in alignment and we're going to work well. And it did, it was fine. Of course, surgeons complain about whatever they can choose and pick to complain about. So it's like, yeah, all right. But other than that, everything was fine. Our patients were fine. And then after I left, I'm like, thank you, God, that this day was great. And then I get some good music going and it's blasting because I'm done. So you develop that. Everybody that's listening and watching now and that's going to watch the replay, develop your own system that's going to help you, especially if you have things going on in your life, your personal life, that I'm not going to say chaotic, but they're a little stressful or tension. You need something to get you back centered and change your energy level for where you're going because you want to be effective. So if you're leaving home and it's kind of crazy at home and you're going to a job interview, you're not going to be at your full capacity at an interview. So you need to do something on that ride there to get yourself together. And it's important to develop that routine. So you have that and it works for you because, and then you're grateful for how successful it is. So we can't just pray for all of this stuff and want all of this and speak all of these things, but then not give thanks that it happened. You have to be thankful because it could have gone a different way. So I'm glad that you have that and talked on that because that's all a part of supporting your purpose. You're supporting it, you're encouraging it, you are adding and feeding it because you're giving thanks and you have all of these things that you do to help make it successful. So let's shift a little bit here. Let's talk about this because I could talk about midwifery because I'm like, is that something I need to look into? No, I'm not. Every time we talk to someone, I'm like, that sounds interesting. Let me look into that. No, my plate's full
Look,
already.
that's how you get bit by the bug.
No, I'm not. No, no. I'm not. I'm going to run from this bug and put on some repellent. No, thank you. No. So let's talk about your holistic business. Just go from beginning up until now. How did you get into that and what does it entail?
Yeah, so I started again with my own healing journey and focusing on like womb health. I was deep into the reproductive health, learning about how it really impacts your whole being, your whole body. And from balancing your hormones to, holding things in our womb, especially as women, like holding pain and trauma in our womb. And so I explored like reflexology, Reiki, like all those different modalities. And I came back to this, um, it was like this ancestral wisdom class. And it was talking about African American traditions and our history and our community and learning about what our people did and how we didn't use Reiki, but we laid hands on people and we prayed for people. And that way our grandmothers and aunts did that. And so from there, I just explored like, okay, what did my family do? And how can that apply and be used in a modern day experience? We're in a time of social media and like all these things. So let me try to reiterate that and bring it, to today. So right now I have a childbirth education course that will instill some of this ancestral wisdom, but make it modern and accessible across these interwebs and, doula work. So that's where I am.
Oh, wow. So what all do you use and what all do you do with your business?
So I use really just my whole being. I really read the room for each client, depending on what they need. I also offer things that are considered full spectrum doula support. So if someone is pregnant and a teen and they need support telling their parents, then I can sit with them as they're like walking through that process. Or if someone is scared to come out to their parents and their LGBTQIA plus in that community, then I can go support them either before or after. If someone had gender affirming surgery, I can support them through their healing. Um, it's, fertility support, all those things.
Oh, wow. So well-rounded in supporting various communities and various people of interest. So that's really big. That's big. And we don't
I'm
get
trying to push her towards getting back product based
that.
again,
Oh, yeah.
especially.
So
Yeah,
what
it's needed too. She's dabbled with like teas and different herbs and like knowledge of knowing something, things like that.
Mhm.
That is something that she can be able to also bring to the table.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm good on it. I'll support others in their endeavors with the products. Like the shipping and all that, it's a lot.
I hear you on that. I hear you on that.
I can bet.
I'll
I
make
can
you
bet.
a nice tea, but
I am, and I have seen within the past months, I guess, we are as a people getting back to our roots,
that's right.
where it all started, where we should have never left in the first place. And it's exciting for me because I've never been a history person, never actually hate history, but to learn more about us and what we used to do. You talked about what did your family do and how we laid hands, and the Reiki. I've had some Reiki therapy. And when I say that's some serious energy stuff right there, like I did it just because I was curious. I'm like, well, I want to see what this is about. And my first session blew me away. I'm like, whoa. And it took me a couple of days. And I don't want to say recover, but because my energy and everything was so open, my therapist was like, you have to make sure you protect you. You don't want any negativity because you're open.
Absolutely.
Open. And I was like, whoa. And she literally was telling the truth because I had to shut some people down. Like, nope, not hearing this today. Click and hang up. But I love that we are going back to where we started.
Yes.
And sometimes in life, and I'm talking to people that are watching and listening, sometimes in life, you got to go back to the beginning. You got to go back to the basics because we've gotten so far out into the middle of the ocean and we're out there in this boat looking like, okay, do I have an oar or a raft or whatever going on? We need to figure out how to get back to who we are and who we were as a people and what we used to do. There was so much more community years ago. We helped each other. We did all that. And so now we've kind of like gone out on our own. So I like that you studied that to bring that in because it makes it even better when you help all of these people that are coming to you.
Absolutely. And just sometimes just holding that space, like Mo was talking about, giving somebody a safe space to unpack what's going on with them, that can be a healing enough. Nothing extra.
Right. So Pierce put a question in there. I know you see that.
Yes. So I am a proud ally. But I do have resources. I love to share resources with other communities. There is a nonprofit. I can give you guys the link to this nonprofit that has a lot of LGBTQIA plus resources in Delaware. And I just recognize when a space is lacking, period. And I think representation is important. And until representation is available, I'm happy to be an ally to any community that is marginalized.
Yeah. That's that support. That's being where you're needed and utilizing your gifts and abilities to help those no matter who they are and what they're a part of. That's important. Go ahead, Morgan. You look like you just want something. Oh, Pierce wants to know the nonprofit. Yeah, definitely share that.
I don't want to mess the name up, but I believe it's I Am Me.
Yeah,
that's Peach.
That's Peach.
Yes. That's
Go
yeah.
figure. That's hers.
There you
So
go.
you are definitely on with the IMB.
Yes,
Yes.
my
Yes, exactly. So
Toya, she's
obviously,
on
great
the board.
resource.
Hey, look, Toya, she's on the board too. So that's my girl.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Look at that. Look at the connection.
Awesome, awesome, hilarious, awesome, awesome, awesome. So, what is the next? Talk a little bit about mentorship and what you were offering there.
So the mentorship piece is new. It's happened kind of organically, and I'm just mentoring doulas that don't feel comfortable hopping out there. I have two mentees right now, and I'm finding that it's just really about building up their confidence because they already have it in them. And a long time ago, when I very first started to be a doula, I called around and I'm like, what do I need? I'm not certified. Like, what should I do? And that elder doula told me, if you feel called to support people in this space when they're most vulnerable and nobody asks you to do that, you're already a doula. So go
Mhm.
ahead and do your thing. You naturally know how to support and nurture somebody. So I held on to that and I pour that into my mentees and aspiring doulas. The technical
Wow.
stuff will come, but it's in you already. Yes,
Wow.
I do have a doula training program that I refer. It's taught by four people in the community from a trans man to a queer non-binary person, and it's fully encompassing. So I got to get that link and then I will send that to you.
Mhm.
Maybe
That
they'll come to Delaware. That would be great.
Absolutely. There's another training actually I was looking into that specifically talks about coming from a justice standpoint as well, and understanding what the fight is, as well as how to support, multiple areas within the community. So, and I feel like it's important, you know what I mean, because everyone deserves to be supported in the birthing space, period. And it's important just the same as, we enter into our fields because we believe that representation is necessary. It's also necessary that even if you yourself are not that, but are an ally and able to understand and be able to come from a standpoint of, equality and being able to give the same kind of support that's in there. I feel like it's necessary and it means everything as far as humanity is concerned.
Absolutely. Healthcare is everything. And we've been ignored for a long time, and our voices are not in every space, and they should be. So anything we can do to provide that extra level is needed.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you are awesome.
Yes, they can. Now internships, there's really not like a internship kind of thing with doulas. We're unregulated. But 16 to 18 year olds can definitely do the training and they can support and show up, especially if they can drive. That's like number one. But there's so many ways to doula. You might not even have to be on call. So it can definitely fit a teen lifestyle as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
It can look
That is
however you want it to
And
look.
we are all open to teaching other things that are within, birth work as well,
Yes.
like placenta encapsulation, like photography, like nutrition, baby food. There's like a lot of different areas within birth work other than just being a doula that at that age you can learn to do and
Mm,
become certified in. And then, depending on where you get certain training, sometimes you might catch a training for free that's paid for, by a nonprofit organization, or you might end up, asking someone, I remember a couple of years ago, saying, hey guys, I'm trying to scrape together some money so that I can go through a training. So, to do that, to, have a certification if you want to be reimbursed by Medicaid per se, or, any other, um, like certain hospitals here require a certification, to be shown. So in those kind of spaces, then, you can be able to get that afterwards.
oh, you have peaked. He is all
Yes, absolutely. And Amber is definitely it. I work with Amber working with Dappy
Love
Pierce.
coffee.
So I was like, we, do an outreach with Dappy. And she was the one who brought me into that space, and not even realizing that that's an even, different need that needs to be filled. And to be 100% honest, someone 16, 18 years old, even in that space, can do a world
So much.
of change, even in that program. So
Yes.
Amber, she's your girl to make that connection and get it happening. Yes.
Man, I could just see so much greatness from 16 to 18-year-olds getting involved with this, and how it can spread like wildfire all across the United States. And for people to know, oh my goodness, 16 to 18-year-olds becoming a doula, and it just changes our
Narrative.
experience.
Yeah.
Just changes
Absolutely.
our experience on everything, because now because a lot of teens don't know for sure what they want to do, and they don't have a lot of people giving them options like, here, this is available. People think, now when I was in school and getting ready to graduate from high school, it's you become a doctor or a lawyer, that's it, or a nurse. Well, I really didn't want, I wanted to be a doctor, but not really. But come on, you give me only those three options. Maybe if I had known anything about a doula back then, maybe I would have done that and then gone on to be an OB. I don't know, because it wasn't presented. So now getting these teenagers and letting them know, look, there's a long list of things that you can get involved in, things you can do, and then take it wherever and help so many people. And it's important to explore that and to have those that have the information, share the information, put it out there so other people can say, oh, let me look into it. Doesn't hurt to look into it and see that you never know. You may find your calling. It may be something that's like, this feels good. It feels right. This feels like where I need to be. And here we are changing a community.
Absolutely. And even if it's not for the calling, it's also for the education.
Yes.
Let's really go back to the fact that there's many of us, and even on a generational level, where we are completely ignorant to a lot of things.
Yes.
It's not until we go through certain things that, we don't even go and look it up and research it. You know what I mean? Like the things that I've learned just in the couple of trainings that I have taken have like blown my mind. Like it's taken my perception of, the birthing body to a completely different level. Like I had no idea what was capable.
Yes.
I had no idea how amazing God, like I knew God was amazing, but like in that space, it's like so mind blowing on so many different levels. And then watching people go through that, that process as well. I feel like it will fundamentally change our community for the better. Just our outcome in being intentional parents and being, intentional about reproducing. But then also once we get there, we can now be more educated and making different decisions for ourselves and our children in the birthing space.
And sexual health. And being aware of what's going on in your body, and when you're exchanging energy with another person, that can impact your mind, body, and spirit. It's so deep.
Your diet as well, all of that.
Like your nutrition, like it's so much is filled into just exploring the topic of reproductive health overall.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we definitely need the education, because there's a lot we don't know. And when you hear it and you get the information, it will be like the heavens have opened, like, oh, and the angels are singing, like, what? Now it all makes sense. Now I understand better. Like, you hear this stuff, but you don't really understand what it means until you really do the work and study and dig deep into it. It's so important. My goodness, it's important. My daughter, when she was pregnant with one of my grandsons, and she just was not, she was past 18. So of course I didn't have a say. So I was just telling her, listen, you need to really push to get the care that you need. You need to say, listen, I'm feeling this. I'm experiencing this. This is going on. I need you to check into it. Like, don't just sit back and let them say, oh, we'll give you this, or you can do that, or it's okay. No, it's not okay. It's not. So
Yeah.
understand, you need to advocate for yourself. You need to
Yeah.
say that. But education is very key. We don't get that like we should. So
Absolutely.
time is now. That's all changing. We're
That's right.
changing all of that. We're changing that narrative. Oh my
Absolutely.
goodness. Yeah.
Absolutely. Most of
So
it is, before, and just instilling that confidence and empowering them to have a voice
mhm,
way
absolutely.
before the birth room.
Wow.
Hmm.
So what's next for you?
So I'm really focused on the online space. That's my clear next step, creating passive income that way and allowing myself to have more work-life balance so I can really study for school and yeah, building that out more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what is some of your coursework like? So what
So the
is
coursework, um, you know, bookwork, clinicals, I have courses just like every other program. Um, I'm about to register for my next semester now, so I'm interested to see what the course selection will be.
Is
mm,
it stuff like anatomy and physiology, or is it like
Well, I completed that. Thank you, Jesus, because
okay, so that is like that is
anatomy
a course.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, but there's different courses like pharmacology, OB
mm.
meds, prenatals 1 and 2. It's a
Oh,
bunch
so
of different
it's
things.
deep into it.
Herbology, um,
Okay.
homeopathics, anything that you would need for a home birth setting or out of hospital birth. Yeah.
Okay. So it is still very much training
Mhm.
that like training that you would need specifically for on the job. Same thing as like an EMT, for instance. So it's like you're learning stuff that you would need to know specifically in that setting, not just a generalized uh
Oh, absolutely.
class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because home birth midwives still do everything. They take care of do all your prenatal care, for the birth. So, IVs, administering medication, knowing what to do in emergencies, that's crucial. Yeah.
You guys can administer medication and do IVs?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh
Everything for
wow.
a low risk pregnancy they can complete.
Oh wow, that is so interesting. And how long is the training? Oh yeah, is this what you were saying? It could be 4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said that's the slow path, right?
No, that's the fast.
Oh,
That's
that's
the
the fast.
expedited. Yeah, I'm taking the slow path. So check on me
Okay.
in about 5 to 6 years. Let's see where I am.
Okay. You'll still be going. That's what you're going to do. You will have gained all this knowledge and you're looking back like, well, I can't stop now. I'm like three-quarters of the way done. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. So yes, I'm a baby student midwife. I still have so much to learn. Forever student.
Pierce says she'll
Okay,
stick
still
to
sticks
the
with your
nurse.
nose. Actually, believe it or not, Pierce, I know a few nurses at uh one of the hospitals here that like they're like, oh my gosh, I really need to be a doula. I have some friends in other states that are like, I feel like that's a little bit more of my calling than even being a nurse, because the support looks different from a doula standpoint. And you do actually learn birth from a non medical standpoint,
Yes.
which then allows you to have a more broader, I think, perspective of it. So you can be able to appreciate both sides. Like I come from a medical background being an EMT. So I understand why there's certain protocols that need to be done in a hospital. But at the same time, I also know that there's a lot of holistic things that can be done to intervene other than that. So yeah, I think she says she's a pediatric nurse. I feel like, oh my goodness, you'd be amazing then, I'm sure, to be in the space that you're in. to just be on the other side of things. Let's talk. There's a childbirth education and doula class coming up. You got another doula class training that we got. We're putting together a whole bunch of trainings in our Central Delaware Community Doula program to be able to extend our reach a little bit more. So I'm excited about, the moves that we're making there as well.
Absolutely.
So
what can you say to those watching about finding their purpose or listening to their purpose?
I would say that even if you don't see the full picture, trust in that voice that you can clearly distinguish from your own, and be patient with yourself, because it may not always happen overnight. But if it truly is your purpose and your calling, then don't fight it. Take your time, use your way through, and enjoy the journey, because there's things along the way that will reveal themselves. And then at the end, you're like, oh, yeah, like, okay, I can see how that was full circle. I can see how this, which I thought was bad timing, helped me to heal this that I thought was, a characteristic flaw. So, it's lovely.
That's good. That's real rich right there. It's really good. Yeah, you got to listen to that. You have to pay attention to that. You have to have your eyes open, like, always here. What's going on there? So at this point in time, I know you're in school, but do you feel a tug to adding something else, or something else been highlighted? Like, maybe I need to look into that too. I don't know. This keeps coming up. Is there anything presently that's doing that?
So I'm managing this doula cohort that is focused on providing support to domestic violence survivors, which has my heart right now. And then I'm also being called to write my second book. So I got to give some energy to that. Yeah.
She's an author on top of everything else.
See, she just kind of snuck that in right there.
Right. You just low-key slid that right on in. Oh, my second book. Wait a minute. We didn't even know about the first book. Let's talk about this first book you've written.
Yes, that was a passion project to get my own story out. It's on Amazon. It's called Rebellion. It speaks to a little bit about what I went through and how I kind of worked through it emotionally. And yeah, it's a quick read.
Wow.
Quick but emotional.
It sounds good, like a New York bestseller. Rebellion. Okay. All right. And so now you're working on your second book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Slow and steady, right? So we'll see when that comes out. I'll keep Mo updated.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna do where are they now? We're gonna see in a couple of months.
Look, in a minute we're gonna have to start a book club too. All y'all writing books. We got to start a Hop the Series book club.
Hey, you can do that. You need to. I think you need to start adding in writing a book too, Morgan.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been toying with that. Like, I've been writing these blog entries right now. So
okay,
put it out. There's no
starting off that way, right? It's your book. You
however
write it
you want
to. Here we go, book club
Book
Tuesday.
Club Tuesdays, yes.
You know what? That would be a good thing. Like you and we put the book out there. Oh my God! Come on, that's 2020. That's 2020.
Exactly. We did say we need to add what 2 things? 2 things for next year. 2 new things. Or are we going to do 4 new things for next year?
No, we're just going to do 2.
Okay, 2 works. 2 works. Well, book club Tuesdays definitely. Well, I don't know about Tuesdays. Look, our Tuesdays is already jam packed. We might have to pick another day. It might be like Friday.
Yeah, we might need to come on just for book club day.
Exactly, a new meeting to happy hour on Fridays. You know,
absolutely. Hey, we're gonna figure it out. Whatever we are led to, just
that's
like,
right.
Whatever we are led to, whatever keeps popping up, whatever feels good. Like, yeah, that's what we need to do.
Absolutely.
We're picking it up in 2024 for real. It's coming in 2024. Oh my goodness. So, as a doula and be seeing everything that you have and experiencing all that you have in your life personally, what would you say to entrepreneurs, and or just some advice in general about life and just being obedient and doing what you feel led to do? What kind of advice could you give?
I would say everyone has a book in them. So, one, get your story out because I know it's going to help somebody else no matter what it is. And two, I would say just start every day like it's a fresh one, right?
Mhm.
It's a new chance to try something, do something, take a risk.
There
Hmm.
we are.
I like that. Take a risk.
That's it. We
Mhm.
can't operate in fear and timidity
That's right.
and apprehension, because then you miss out on your purpose. You
That's
miss out on your destiny. You miss out on your calling and all of those that are supposed to benefit and be
absolutely.
helped from what you're doing. So
That's
it's important to pay attention. We A lot of people go through their lives selfishly, and they
right.
just only think about them, me, and this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. And there's this call and there's tug and this pull, and they're not paying attention. And they're just thinking about me, 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 me. And people, I literally see people on the sidelines like, I need some help. Who's gonna help me? And you're supposed to help them, but you're so focused on me, me, me. So
Mm,
you have to be able to see, you have to be able to be open. Real, I like go out everywhere I go, even if it's a Walmart. I'm going to the store like, okay, who am I going to encounter today? What am
mm,
I going to have to say to them? What am I going to have to do? It could just be general conversation or laughing about something that happened in the store. I've had that happen. But if we're
mm.
not paying attention, and we're not to what's going on, if we're not being mindful, if we don't have our spirit open up enough to see that, then we miss out on it. And then you don't have your purpose. You don't go into your purpose, which could not just be for you, but for others. So
Right.
I'm in this season of my life personally, and I know that Amber, you are, and Morgan, I know you are, of being more aware,
Yes.
just being more aware of what's coming to you, what you see, what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, where you're going, who you're around, the environment that you're in, where life is taking you, because it's not by chance. It's not. Everywhere we go and everything that we do is for a purpose, and
Absolutely.
sometimes we miss it. And the purpose could be for us in that very moment, something that we need. But because we're not paying attention, we miss that. Because we are
Absolutely.
not, don't have our eyes open and ears open, we miss that. So as you guys are going about your lives and your days, this is for everyone. Make sure you're being more aware, you're paying attention. Don't let life just pass you by. Don't just let life just move on and you not get the fulfilling that you need, not see the real purpose of who you are and what you're supposed to do and how that's supposed to change lives and affect people. Like Amber, what you're doing, and Mo, what you're doing is great because we don't have that. We've not had that for so long. So for you to get this extra training and take your time and go through these classes and get all of this information and be there for not just one group of people, but for multiple,
Right.
that's so important. That's
Absolutely.
very, very key. So we are all changers of the world in some form or fashion.
Absolutely. I'm a firm believer that, you know, your obedience is tied to someone else's blessing. It's not
Mm,
just
That's
yours, but it's also someone else's. And so sometimes when you are scared to do something that you've been called to do, I think my motivation right now is realizing that me standing and being scared is blocking someone else from being blessed. And the
mm,
last thing that I want to do is stand in the way of someone else's blessing. So that means I got to get up. And
yeah.
you know, Amber can attest to when we talk about the different stages of labor. You know, the early labor, everyone is still kind of, you know, happy but kind of anxious, and you know, we can still have conversations. But once we get into active labor, things start to change a little bit, you know, and it's like, oh wow, this is real. And that's when the real pain starts to begin. and it intensifies over time. Now, if you sit here in fear or are stressing about it, you literally are over here stalling your labor.
Mm.
The purpose at the or the reason why we're in this labor period is because there is something that needs to be birthed.
Yep.
So if you're going to sit there in fear, you're literally holding on to what is supposed to be coming of you and out of you.
Yep. Absolutely.
And now you're prolonging, honestly, your pain, to be completely honest, rather than just rolling with it. So we tell our clients, like, listen, this is like a wave, just ride it. And every single one of those contractions just brings you closer and closer to you seeing your baby. And
Absolutely.
when you get to the end, that's when you're like, oh, nope, you know what? I'm out. I tapped out. I can't do this. The world seems like it's closing in. And that's how we know, okay, now it's really go time. This is now, let's start prepping to push. Let's really start prepping to birth this thing. And
Yeah.
as we continue to then persevere through that, it's like once you get on the other side, that feeling of, this is over. But oh my gosh, I just did that.
Yes.
That's the
That
part.
part.
That's the part. You know what I mean? Because then it's crazy. It's like you forget all about it. You forget all about that. Whether you have a C-section, whether you have a natural birth, you forget about that. You see that baby and everything just completely disappears.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what it's like when it comes to your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with you, Amber. That fear, and just do it, take and jump at the risk. You were speaking to me today. So I appreciate that. Again,
Yes.
always. I love you so much, Amber.
I love you.
I'm still stuck on your obedience is tied to someone's blessing. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
A word
Oh,
right there. Mm-hmm.
that was it. That was it. Like, oh my gosh, I could take that and run with it, but I'm not.
Yes,
But
well, that's the next book. There you go.
no, I'm already writing my next book. Like, I need
The
to
third
jump
one,
back on
that's
that.
right. I forgot. We got one already working. Yes.
Oh yeah, it's already being written now. So, but wow. So well, I have enjoyed having you on, and I second what Pierce said. She said that she loves your spirit and your open mindedness, and I do too. You have this calming presence that would make any person in any kind of situation know, oh, I got this, I can do it, let me just breathe, I can do this. You have that about you that makes people feel that way. So continue to do what you're doing. I wish you great success with your school, and I can't wait to hear all of the wonderful things that you're going to be doing in the near future.
Thank you so much. I've thoroughly enjoyed this.
Yes. Thank
I
you
hope
for
you weren't
being
nervous,
willing.
are you?
Oh, I'm always nervous. I'm an introvert. Shy.
Oh, okay, well, I wouldn't have known that since you told
She
me.
really is. So the crazy part about it, like when I kind of like just threw it out there, was like, hey, so you want to be on the show? And when she said yes, I really was like, oh, this is going to be so great. I'm so excited because, yeah, she is very much an introvert, but I know she has so much to share. So I appreciate you doing this. I know how much it was, but I appreciate you. And thank you for doing what you do, Amber.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank both of you. You
Yes.
too.
We have enjoyed having you on. So, okay, guys, we're at the end. Man, time flies when you're enjoying yourself and having a good conversation and finding purpose and supporting purpose and everything. But we can't be on here all night. We don't have that kind of time. We have lives ourselves and things to do. And my daughter, she's got to get ready for bed. And more, you have your kids, and Amber, you have yours. So we need to attend to our children. But definitely, everyone, please subscribe to the House of Peach if you have not. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. You can find anything about what we're doing. 2024 is about to be bananas. If you don't know already, we have done well, I feel, and I believe Peach is very much pleased about what has taken place in 2023. But oh my, every round goes higher and higher. In 2024, we are going to come out with some added things that's going to further enhance. But we need your support. We need your help. We need you to subscribe. We need you to share. We need you to post. We need you to do all of that stuff so you can stay in the know of what we're doing. What are we doing here at the House of Peach? Inspiring you. We're pushing you. We're motivating you. We're giving you the information you need and the connections you need to
Yes.
get to your next level. We're not just doing this just to be doing it. There is a purpose behind it, and we're going to support each and every person's purpose by connecting you with who you need to be connected with and giving you that information you need and that support and a whole lot of laughs on top of that because we have fun here.
Yes.
So until next time,
Yes.
when we have our next guest come on,
Yeah.
which is my girl, Nicole Rice. We are excited about having her on next week. So join us next Tuesday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:15 p.m. Central, and 4:15. Oh, I'm gonna get those times right. 4:15 Pacific. All right. And like I always say, if you're in another part of the world, hey, figure it out. 6 hours, 7 hours. I don't know. One of those different.
Exactly. Use that clock on your phone.
Exactly. Just find us and tune in to when we are on. All right. So until next week, y'all have a
Yes.
wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you on Tuesday.
Thanks again. Have a good one.
Thanks again, Amber.
Yeah, I'm so extra. Express myself, I'm next up. Yeah, one more juicy. Coming up. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on now.